This should have been abolished long ago because everybody knows, educating a nation of intellectual and moral imbeciles. What has happened since we started the Department of Education? Scores, standardized testing scores for kids across the United States have declined. So why keep doubling down on dumb? If it's not working, why continue to do it? And this is the key question that we should have when it comes to our public education system here in our local communities. If the federal control and federal oversight of education is a good thing, then why haven't test scores of our graduates increased? So let's talk about C.S. Lewis. You know, he's one of my favorite scholars. C.S. Lewis, the Oxford Don, who was a professor of medieval literature at Oxford and then went on to Cambridge in the later part of his career. C.S. Lewis, the author of the Chronicles of Narnia that you've read to many of your kids, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Silver Chair, Prince Caspian, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, etc., etc. C.S. Lewis, author of Abolition of Man. C.S. Lewis, author of The Great Divorce and Mere Christianity. I want to talk about C.S. Lewis again today. More specifically about that book that I just cited, and that is The Abolition of Man. In 1943, Lewis warned us. He warned us that of a day when our country, and basically Western civilization, but he warned that Great Britain and America, that our country's educated class would claim that it made sense, that they would actually start claiming that it makes sense to what Lewis said, geld the stallion and then bid him be fruitful. Now that's the metaphor, the analogy that he used to describe what he believed was taking place even way back in the 1940s in education. And he wrote about it in The Abolition of Man. Now I'm going to repeat that. He said there's going to come a time, and it's happening right now as we speak, in the 1940s when he wrote this. He said, we actually have an educated class, the educated elite, the professors, the administrators in the academy who actually think it makes sense to geld the stallion and then bid him be fruitful. Now, what was he saying? Lewis was essentially arguing that it was akin to removing the organ and demanding the function. To geld the stallion and then bid him be fruitful. Remove the organ and yet demand the function. And then he went on to talk about how we're creating an entire class of people in Western civilization, Great Britain, America, and whatnot, that are men without chests. Basically, he was saying we've removed the organ, the soul, the heart, the mind. We've removed the curiosity, the intellect from people, men and women. They've now become men and women without chests. They don't have a heart. They just have a gaping cavity in the center of their being where there used to be a driving force, a driving soul, something that was connected to the laws of nature and nature's God, something that recognized there was a truth with a capital T to be found, and therefore you get an education so that you understand it, you can pursue it, you can acquire it, and you can own that truth as your own. But Lewis said, our schools are now educating students to be men without chests, boys and girls without souls, without heart, without a basic common understanding of common sense and sense that's common.